Yeah, so my name's Danayutta, and what we're going to do, we're going to start off with Metta Bhavana meditation. We'll just do the first and the final stage of the Metta Bhavana meditation. I think particularly, the world is always in need of more people doing the Metta Bhavana. But I think with the news coming out of the Middle East, and also, I don't know, depending on what you're particularly interested in. My husband works for high speed too, so he's been particularly affected as well. There's always things happening. It's always a good time to do the Metta Bhavana practice. And I thought that particularly maybe today we could focus on the flavor that metta is beyond our likes and dislikes, beyond our preferences, beyond bias, beyond view, beyond our views, beyond other people's views. All things that live want to keep living, want to keep growing, want to be happy. Okay, so when you're ready, just come into meditation position if you haven't already. Closing your eyes. Relaxing your face. Tuning into the felt sense of how you are this morning. And however you are, cultivating an attitude of metta. And then extending metta outwards, reflecting that metta is beyond bias, beyond prejudice, beyond political affiliation, beyond polarization, and a resonance with all that lives. And then relaxing any effort you're making to cultivate metta. All right. Opening your eyes if you haven't already, and you might just want to come out of meditation position. If you're not used to sitting for a long time, I just want to save your knees and hips. We're going to meditate again before the tea break. Yeah, so in the second half of the class, I want to tell you a little bit about my relationship to the Buddha. So I thought in the first half of the class, maybe we could all just bring the Buddha to mind. So I'm going to lead through a practice called the Buddhanusati. Sati means recollection of, or Anusati means recollection of, and Buddhanusati simply means the recollection of the Buddha. There are lots of different ways that you can do this practice. One way is to think of the qualities of the Buddha, and there's also a list of qualities that you can think about, and then just go through the qualities and imagine the Buddha being like that. Can you hear me if I speak at this level?
Yes.
Just, would you like to come forwards? Would you?
No.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, let's change it in the tea break when because you'll probably need to hear me for the talk. Yeah. So where was I? Oh yeah. So Buddhanusati is the recollection of the Buddha. So one way you can do it is just to go through the qualities and reflect on the qualities. Another way that you can do it is just to imagine that you're in the presence of the Buddha. In the presence of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion, and allow that, allow your imagination to affect your being. So allow your imagination to affect you. So that's what we'll do. We'll, in a moment, we'll go and spend a little bit of time with the Buddha. So some of you might have come across these practices of imagining being with somebody else. And sometimes what, like traditionally, or maybe not even that traditionally, but sometimes in our movement, we talk about visualization practice. And then that's a little bit stressful because some of us aren't sure whether we can visualize. But actually all of us do have an imagination. If you just spend a moment thinking about a good friend, right? So just bring your good friend to mind. Have you brought your good friend to mind? Yeah? Okay, it's exactly like that. Yeah? I think of my friend and I just say her name, and then suddenly I can see her brown cardigan and the shape, her silhouette, or, at least I'm not sure if I can see it perfectly, but I definitely have a sense of her. Sometimes I can smell hers, and she's got a very particular, we all do, not just my friend. We all have our own unique sense. Yeah, I should embarrass myself now. Yeah, so we can bring people to mind, and it's exactly like that. We'll bring the Buddha to mind. I also want to read you a set of verses which I think are very, very beautiful. It's quite an old Buddhist text called the Pariyana, and this is just an epilogue to the story. The story is, and I'll say a little bit more in the second half of the class. The story is somebody has gone to see the Buddha, and he's coming back from seeing the Buddha, and he's telling his friend about his meeting with the Buddha. So I want to sing you Pingia's praises of the way to the beyond. And maybe I will do that at the start of the meditation, and then I'll guide us through the meditation. So when you're ready, get back into meditation posture. So returning to that sense of metta, metta for yourselves and for other people. I will sing you the praises of the way to the beyond, said Pingia, when he returned to where the Brahmin Bhavri lives on the bank of the river Godavari. It was described to us by the man exactly as he saw it. But then, there isn't any reason why a man like him should lie. A mammoth of knowledge and completely pure, a man without desire. When the voice has none of the glibness of pride and none of the ingrained stains of ignorance, then its words are full of sweetness and beauty. It is such words that I praise now. They call him Buddha, enlightened, awake, dissolving darkness with total vision, and knowing the world to its ends, he has gone beyond all the states of being and becoming. He has no inner poison drives. He is the total elimination of suffering. This man, Brahmin Bhavri, is the man I follow. Up till now, before I heard Gautama's teaching, people always told me this. This is how it has always been, and this is how it will always be. Only the constant refrain of tradition, a breeding ground for speculation. This prince, this beam of light, Gautama, was the only one who dissolved the darkness. This man, Gautama, is a universe of wisdom, a world of understanding. So connecting to any sense of spaciousness, any spaciousness that might have arisen through the practice of metta bhavana, spaciousness in the heart, in the body, in your mind. And with each breath, breathing in more and more spaciousness. With each breath, breathing out more and more spaciousness. So that there's more and more space inside of you, in front of you, behind you, above, below, and all around. Infinite space. And into the space appears the Buddha. He might be meditating, or walking, or teaching. You might have a clear sense of him, or you might simply be in touch with his qualities, this universe of wisdom, this world of understanding. Allowing ourselves to be taught by the Buddha, What teaching would he give me today? Allowing ourselves to be affected by the Buddha's presence, by his awareness, by the strength of his metta. What's it like to be in the Buddha's presence? What's it like to be in the presence of boundless compassion? Now, if you're making any effort to cultivate the presence of the Buddha, you can allow that to relax. If the Buddha continues to be present, that's fine. If he disappears, that's fine. Coming back to a sense of infinite spaciousness. Spaciousness without a beginning or end, without a center or edges. And then allowing any sense of spaciousness to dissolve so that you're back here in your own body, on your chair or your cushion.